Welcome to Stress Mess, a stressless podcast where the chaos is real, the caffeine is strong, and swearing sometimes happens, and that's okay. I'm Samantha Elizabeth, health and wellness coach, chronic overthinker, and proud BFFs to stress itself. Here we're ditching perfection, embracing unfiltered real talk, and making mindset shifts that might just keep us from screaming into the void. Let's get messy. Today, I'm joined by my friend and Feng Shui Wizardess, Britt, for a conversation that moves from energizing morning routines to the magic of habits. We talk about time blocking, turning errands into friend time, and why always leave a place better than you found it might just change your life. We also dig into decluttering and the timeless truth that there's a place for everything and everything in its place. Let's get into it. Okay, we are recording. Hello, Julie.
Hello.
Welcome. I don't know why sometimes I do this very formally, but I always go, welcome to the Stress Mess podcast. How are you?
Just delightful. How are you? Things are just...
Okay. I know it's not morning, but I want to ask you a question because I'm going to give you a little background here.
Okay.
So I have developed a really, really bad habit recently. So what I used to do is I used to have a alarm clock, right? It would go off and I would wake up, boop, right out of bed. I'm good. I'm a morning person. And then what I started to do is develop this whole, I need a 15-minute warning before the real alarm clock goes off. So if I wake up at 6, I'm going to set it for 5:45, and then my real alarm clock goes at 6. So I give myself a 15-minute warning. And then I've developed this wonderfully bad habit of, because for some people that know this, like when you are your own business owner, you don't really have real set hours, unless of course, we're working with a particular client or something like that. And you have like these set hours. And so what I've been doing lately is then I've been doing this 5:45 alarm, the 6 o'clock alarm, which would be my real alarm. And then I've been doing the 6:15, sorry, not 6:50, 6:15, oh shit alarm. And like, that's my, you got to get up now and get your stuff done. So I've been having that really bad habit. And then I used to set myself up for success in the morning where I would go and make my coffee and, I would do all the things that I was supposed to do to be able to wake up, pop out of bed, grab my coffee, get on my stuff right away. So I have been setting myself up for bad habits. So I really want to know, because I know you are a morning person and you are wonderful in the morning. And I don't know why, but lately I've been going downhill in the morning and I haven't been popping out of bed like a Pop-Tart or anything. But I want to know about your morning routine. Like, what do you do in the morning and why are you so chipper? Yeah.
Well, I'm not always chipper in the morning, but I hear you about sliding on a habit. And because I think I've told you offline and whatever when we've chatted that I love James Clark's Atomic Habits. And he's really he's helped me become a more habitual person because he ties it to your lifestyle. It's like, what do you want? And are your habits supporting that? Mm-hmm. And if they're not supporting that, well, just acknowledge that they're not supporting the lifestyle you want. They're supporting the lifestyle you have. And are you happy with that? Mm-hmm. So that doesn't mean I slide off. But like you previously, apparently, I never set an alarm to get up because I'm always awake so early. My problem is sometimes waking up at 4 o'clock and then I'll listen to a podcast or something to stay in bed until 5. Sometimes I go back to sleep. And but usually by 6 o'clock, I'm like ready to get up. So I made a list based on Clark's suggestions. Mm-hmm. So I go through a whole routine that one habit builds upon the next. So I get up, turn on the light. There's a certain lamp I turn on. I turn off the porch light. I turn on the living room light because it's still dark. Put on the coffee, go in the kitchen, take the pills, morning pills, go in the other room, get dressed. At that point, the coffee's ready.
Yeah.
Pick up the coffee, head back to the room where I sleep. I have 2 different rooms,
Mm-hmm.
and I make the bed. And then at that point, I have to do my exercises, which honestly take less than probably 5 minutes.
Oh,
If I actually got into a real exercise program, probably wouldn't do it. But these are the ones I need to do. And he says, if you only do one, it's better than doing nothing. So I
okay.
do these exercises that take me 30 seconds
Yeah.
each, and I do a bunch of them, and they actually have really helped. However, it's been great. I've been doing it for maybe 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
This week, I woke up and I had a migraine. Not a big
Oh,
one, but it threw my schedule off. So
okay.
something in your life may be throwing your schedule off or whatever. So when it
Yeah.
threw my schedule off, I gave myself a pass on doing the exercises, but I did
Mm-hmm.
everything else.
Mm.
And then the following day, I can't remember why, but I gave myself a pass again on doing
Oh,
something.
yeah.
And another thing was supposed to happen after I got all my things done, because I'd get them done within 30 minutes instead of wasting the whole morning thinking, I need to go make the bed. I need to da da da. And think, did I take those? Did I take those pills? Did I do this? Forget
Yeah.
this. So everything would get done, and I was really focused. And in my brain, I said, okay, I'm going to spend 2 hours on reading business things, just
Mm-hmm.
reading, and I'm going to turn off everything. Well, I
Yeah.
gave myself a pass on that for a few days, and
Yeah.
suddenly everything is gone like slidey, slidey.
Yeah.
And I stopped and I thought, okay, wait a minute here. I'm doing it now. It's like I didn't do my exercises this morning. I have worked on business things for 2 hours though.
Yeah.
But another thing, oh, I know what got me off schedule. You may have found this too. I had gardening to do. I went
Oh,
out. I have to do it early. I think, oh,
yeah.
I'll be out there for an hour.
It's
two
super
hours
hot.
later. Yeah, but 2 hours later, I haven't done any business stuff. And then
Mm-hmm.
the whole day just kind of goes off for me.
Mm-hmm.
So forming habits, he says, are not your goals. It's not the goal to get the habits done. The goal
Mm.
is to get the lifestyle you want.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're either getting it and your habits are supporting you, and your
Yeah.
strategy is to include the habits. So I don't
Yeah.
know why you're maybe pushing it off, but I don't know. Does that give you any inspiration from James Clark and Atomic Habits?
Yeah, it does. Gosh, there was another book that I read. I forget what it is. I'll put it in the show notes for the podcast, but it was about habits, of developing that habits. And, they say that it takes 30 days or 21 days, to develop a habit. And you want to look at your keystone habits, the bigger habits, that cause things. So, um, they made an example of this lady that went on a trip, and she was a smoker. And so she was smoking on this trip, and she realized that she woke up one morning on the trip and it was a beautiful morning and she was going to go sightseeing, but she was winded. And, she was realizing that, the smoking habit was the bad thing. But she didn't say, I got to quit smoking. She made another change in her life that made her want to quit smoking eventually. I mean, it didn't happen overnight. It wasn't so, but it was another habit. And I'm trying to remember what the habit is. This is terrible. This is a factual podcast, of course, of like,
Of
here,
course.
you want to learn something? This is what I kind of remember from this book. But I'm just saying that, like, it's a keystone habit. And I know for me, like, when I was working corporate and working a regular 9 to 5 job, I was, of course, getting up at a certain time. I was working out first thing in the morning. I was taking a shower, I was doing all the things. And I remember when I first started working from home, I had a manager tell me, don't forget to brush your teeth. I was like, well, that's dumb. Of course, I'm going to not forget to brush my teeth because I brush my teeth every morning. And then I realized working from home, well, I don't need to take a shower right away. And normally, like my routine before was get up and, have my coffee, take my shower, brush my teeth, get dressed, and get ready for the day and go, and there I was off. And I realized like working from home, I'm like, well, I don't have to take a shower right away because I've got my morning meetings and I can be in my pajamas for that because I'm going to say I'm old. but it was during the time that you didn't have the camera um as video conferencing. It was just on the phone. So you can literally be in your pajamas. So I would get up and have my early morning meetings. So that was part of a global team. So I would sometimes get up at like 4 a.m., to have a meeting. And of course, I'm not going to get up at 3 and, get my coffee, shower, get ready, and then get into a meeting where I don't even have to be like physically present. So I remember like sitting there. I remember the first day that it happened of not showering first thing in the morning like I normally do and doing my normal routine, doing all my morning meetings. I get my lunch and I'm starting to eat my lunch and realize I forgot to brush my teeth this morning. I was like, well, shoot, she's right. Like, don't forget to brush your teeth.
It was
So,
when you started working from home that your habits started slipping because it was like, well, my day it's free, it's open.
well, it wasn't just that it was free. I mean, because it was very structured. I mean, I had a certain time that I had to be online and everything and available for my team. But what slipped was that routine that I had started, get up, coffee, shower, brush the teeth, get ready, go. Right.
Because you were
And
going to
so,
be in
like,
person with people.
right, that was being in person, yeah, like go, meaning go to the office.
Right.
But when I started
Right.
working from home, then everything kind of got foobarred, like it started to get messy, because hey, I didn't need to shower first thing in the morning because I didn't need to go anywhere. I didn't need to be physically present. I didn't even have to brush my hair or, put makeup on or anything like that. Cause like I said, it
I
was
hear you.
before video conferencing. I don't do
I
that now. Well, I don't know. Sometimes people see me in the morning and everything. I'm still in my workout clothes. I start to do that as well too. Anyway, but all that to say is that I just want to talk about like habits and I know that you do a lot of energy work too. So kind of like where do you find your energy, in the morning to be able to establish a routine, and how did you establish your routine?
Well, the routine has come actually from the after reading Atomic Habits, and I
Yeah.
want to comment on one thing you said that made a difference to the way I thought about things. You
Yeah.
said that the book that you read, or
Uh-huh.
whoever, said that you have to do something for 30 days.
Mhm.
James Clark says that's not the deal. It's not how many days you do it; it's how
Mhm.
often you do something. It's
Mm.
like it's a repetition. How often do you follow through? How often do
Yeah.
you follow through? How
Yeah.
often do you follow through? Obviously, we only get up once in the morning, so you have to do it for a number of days.
Yeah.
But so I've been doing it for weeks,
Mhm.
and then I slid off. So well, probably later after we get off of this, I'll go in and I'll do those exercises. There's no reason for me not to, other
Yeah.
than I didn't feel like it. And
Yeah.
he also talks about that, but I'm not going to go into that. The question you asked me about energy is I've always been a morning person. So I think it's just circadian rhythms,
Mm.
that
Mhm.
I wake up in the morning less in full sentences than I used to be. But now it just takes me a little while to kind of get myself together. It's like, yeah, I have some coffee and make the bed and I do all these things, and they're kind of mindless things. And then
Yeah.
after that, mornings are my best time. I think the best in the mornings. If I don't get a lot done in the mornings, I tend to slide off in the afternoons. I just,
Mhm.
it's like, things are, that's when I'm more creative. That's when I work on my cards and creative stuff rather than on business stuff. Well,
Yeah.
sometimes business stuff too.
Yeah.
Um, I'm still forming the habits I want, but the morning thing is like if I'm really good in the morning, if I work on my business, which is decluttering, I'm putting together I'm going to put together two different boot camps. There's a
Mhm.
lot of work in getting the stuff together ahead of time. It's okay, I've got to
Yeah.
have this in place, got to have that in place. That's the time I would do it, but it conflicts with gardening. And
Oh,
I know
yeah.
people say, well, but that's one of my big things too. It's like, I want to have this beautiful garden
Yeah.
and it requires my attention.
Yeah.
And then when I get out there, what I need to do is make a list of the things I'm going to do when I get out there. Do like X, Y, and Z, and then don't do A, B, C, D, and E,
Yeah.
J, and K,
Yeah.
which can happen. So I need to deal with that in some
Yeah.
way or shape or form.
Yeah.
So I don't know. My brain, I love solving problems. I should be able to fix this for myself, but will I? I'll let you know. But it does seem, I'm doing a lot better. I'm
Yeah.
doing a lot better. The other thing
Good.
that I have a problem with, I don't know if you do, is getting to bed at the same time every night and not watching TV or being online, or on my phone or something for 2 hours ahead of time. I sleep so
Yeah.
much better if I pay attention. But there's just something I want to watch or something I want to talk about, or
Mhm.
yeah, no. There's things on the computer that are so fun, and I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean, normally I'm at my desk working late, because I have a lot of inspiration at night. I have
Ah,
in the morning and at night. In the afternoon, like I just don't do well in the afternoon. And I know that like Latin cultures, for instance, they have that siesta. I feel like that's my culture, because I like in the afternoons to rest, take a nap, that sort of thing. And obviously that wasn't a luxury when I was in the office, and I remember when people would schedule like afternoon meetings, or after lunch meetings, I'd be like, oh gosh, like let it not be a creative meeting, because my brain is not in the creative mode. I'm most creative when in the morning, waking up, and at night. But I like to tackle like my hardest task at night. Or
but
not at
starting
night,
about
sorry.
what
My
time?
hardest task.
What? Yeah, your evening. What would be your best hours like at night?
Anywhere from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. It's like the
Okay,
time,
well,
you know.
that's good if you can still get up at 6. If you're going to sleep at 2, you're only going to get 4 hours worth of sleep at 6.
I know. I
So
know.
can you still? Are you still a
And I
morning
don't wake up
person
at
then?
6. I don't wake up at 6. I can tell you that. It's all over the place. It really depends on when my first meeting is. So I normally try to wake up like 2 hours before my first meeting. If I have no meetings, it's like sometimes I don't even set an alarm clock. It's the worst. It is a bad habit that I've gotten into, but and this is something that a lot of people don't talk about. Like when you go from a regular 9 to 5 job, where you've got a schedule and, you are beholden to somebody else. I don't even know if that's a word, but if you, have where you have to be somewhere at the same time and everything, you kind of develop, of course, a schedule, a regular schedule. Got to be in bed by this time. You got to wake up by this time, but as a entrepreneur, solopreneur, your schedule's all over the place, so you have to set your own schedule. But a lot of times, like, I can't even set my own schedule because it really depends on what's happening, because every single day is different as
Well, and you
well.
have a kid too,
Yeah,
so
I got a kiddo.
so you got to make dinner, and you got to maybe help with homework, and just be
Mhm.
social and be a mom. I don't even have all those things, and I'm still distracted with all these things that I like to do, and also people too.
Yeah,
Um, but for me, my goal is to set business hours for me.
yeah,
That's really my goal. I have to figure out, though, I need to set gardening hours for me, and I need to set creative hours for me, which is
yeah.
not always the best thing to do. But once I get into doing creative stuff, it's like moving from the right brain to the left brain on business. And
Mhm.
that's a tough one. It's
Yeah,
like I'm either doing stuff, making my cards, and I get all into it. Now I have moved it all in the living room, so I'm not distracted in my office anymore, which
yeah.
is helpful.
What's
And I'm actually
distracting
making
in your
some good
office?
progress. Hmm.
What's
What's that?
distracting in your office to you?
Well, okay. Let's see. Do I have anything near me? I don't have my. I've got. Well, I'm looking at. If I look across the room here, I'm
Mhm.
seeing a cup that is full of acrylic pens,
Okay.
acrylic paint pens, and I'm seeing glue, and I'm seeing cards. Like I've got little cards here,
Mhm.
and I see the templates for them, and they need to be cut out, and they need to be painted.
Mhm.
Well, all I need to do is I'm doing something on the computer, and I'll turn around and I'll see some of this creative stuff sitting there, and it's like,
Mhm.
ADD. It's not a deficit of attention. It is a multitude of attention.
Yeah.
Squirrels everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I end up doing a little of this, and I do a little of that, and then I do a little of this, and I do a little of that, and I go, oh God, I get to get my coffee. It's ridiculous. So one of the habits that's helped me is turning off my phone and going on a focus, do not disturb. That has
Mm-hmm.
been very helpful, not to have things dinging and
Yeah.
whatever. Even if it's business stuff, I'm working now on an advisory committee. So thrilled. Um,
Oh.
I know. I was invited to join this advisory committee for some software that I had purchased to do RSVPs and things like that. I'd
Oh,
gotten
yeah.
groups off of Meetup, and you're part of one of them at least, the Feng
Yeah.
Shui group.
Yeah.
And so I needed something. Meetup just got too expensive. I just wasn't going to do it. It's like I've had it with you people, and you weren't
Mm-hmm.
giving me anything. But this, like, oh, this looks great. The problem was that it was set up more for developers than it was for usees like me.
Mm-hmm.
However, being one of these people that's got my mind in 50,000 different things,
Yeah.
I finally, it was like I had to deal with HTML and change templates from the back. And oh my God, it was awful.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
I kept sending to support tickets in, like, what the what? And how do I blah, blah, blah? And it's like, well, we're not going to do the HTML for you. That was already part of the deal. But the
Mm-hmm.
guy who did it, um, who was the support guy, got the same guy every time. So I think there may only be one support. Not sure.
Maybe.
But his name was Thomas. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
So I got to know Thomas really, really well. And because I had all kinds of problems, but I was really learning HTML.
Mm-hmm.
So because I was saying, you need a UI person, a user interface person, you should hire me. They
Yeah.
didn't hire me. But I sent so many things into them, and I got to know him so well that I got invited to join the dev team, the customer service team, the whatever. There's like
Oh,
4 people on the
wow.
team and
Yeah.
me. And I think they have other people too. I'm not the only one, but I am only one on with the team.
Okay.
And it's really, really interesting. It's like now I have to get into this new version
Mm-hmm.
and give them feedback. Oh, honey, I've got 1,000 feedbacks. And I get all
Yeah.
excited about that. I go down a rabbit hole on that before it's like, oh, I need to schedule this stuff for myself. But it depends on them, because what they
Yeah.
have is they have this RSVP, but they
Mm-hmm.
don't have an interface in there that allows me to charge. And
Oh.
I charge for my workshops.
Uh-huh.
Well, some of them. And because of that, I can't set it up on my own website. So it's like, I'm constantly going back and going forward. Anyway,
Yeah.
after that, it's been really fun to be part of this advisory committee. And I'm hoping they're going to give me next year for free, which would be like $350.
Yeah. I was going to ask if they're
Like,
compensating you or anything like that for
at
it.
this point, no. At
Yeah.
this point, no. But they're taking, but this version 2.0 that they put up there, they had
Yeah.
taken a ton of my suggestions
Oh, that's
already. They
awesome.
had already implemented them. So, and the real interactive, we're working on Slack. So that's my first time working on Slack. I love new
Oh,
stuff.
Slack is
Yeah,
fun, isn't it?
yes. Well, anytime I have to learn something new, the learning curve is always a pain in the butt. When I
Yeah.
just want to get in there and do what I want to do, like,
Right.
but once I get it, oh my God, it's so fun. So they're very interacted with me on there,
Uh-huh.
and I send them little videos. It's like, what about this? And I need that there, and this needs to be put over here, stuff like that. So I get to be bossy,
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean,
advisey. I get to
I
be advisey.
I work for a company where we had an app, and we wanted people to be like you, to give us suggestions. And they would give us suggestions, but it would be more of like complaining, type of things, not like we want to help you, to get better. It's just like, why are you not better? This sort of thing.
No,
And like, why doesn't it do this? I wanted to do this, like that sort of thing. And so we had to kind of turn those complaints into constructive feedback, on our own. But we had actually so many times like gone out and like try to get people to be part of focus groups or something like that, and we unsuccessfully set up like several focus groups. I say unsuccessfully because I wanted people to come into our office, which means that they had to
oh,
be located in our area, and we were nationwide. So and then also on top of that, we were like, here's $50 for the day. And then I set this up. This was the user
I see
interface
why it
group.
didn't
But
go, but it wasn't your fault.
I'm like, for the day, they wanted them for 8 hours at $50. And I was like, wait, what? Like oh, we're going to give them lunch too. And I'm like, yeah, that's not even compensating for how much they can make, on the app itself. So I was like,
I know.
but they were like, that's all we had the budget for. And I'm just like, well, we're going to have to do better, at this, try to get that feedback. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're doing that because I know I was in that position. And it's like super helpful to have somebody, to be able to give us that kind of feedback. So
Well, they
thank
seem
you
really excited
on behalf
about it.
of them.
I get really nice. We had a Zoom yesterday. It was the first Zoom face to
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
AT&T dropped me. My internet went down for about 10 minutes.
Oh,
And I finally reset I did everything. So I lost 10 minutes and they had scheduled for 45 minutes and I lost all that time with them
yeah.
and we had to end. So I'm really happy to have like screencast and I make those quick videos and snag it and I send them. So I just say, okay, see, this is here and blah, blah, blah. And I would like this here closer to where it's like, here's this and there's that over there, but
Yeah.
who sees that? It's like, bring
Yeah.
it over here. Anyway.
Yeah.
So it was really fun meeting them. There's two guys from the UK, one from Ireland, great accents, and two from the US.
I love Irish
Norm,
accents. Yeah.
I know, so fun. So
I try to
that
do
was
one
really
so
fun.
bad.
Yeah, and it was great seeing everybody in person. That was
Yeah.
really nice too. I mean, Slack has been good, but in
Yeah.
person was really nice. But
Oh,
then
yeah.
AT&T did not get my thanks yesterday. But anyway, so where were we on before we got so
I don't even know. We got on a tangent. Like, my brain is all spinning on all sorts of topics and everything.
we did. But yeah, so it's been kind of an interesting. I'm trying to think if there's anything fun and interesting going on in here. My life is so interior. I do so many
Mm,
things that are just me
yeah.
doing doing the artwork and stuff. There's a
Yeah.
group that meets on Fridays. See, being an entrepreneur, being single and living by myself
Uh-huh.
is which I like. But being also I'm an ambivert, but I need people. But
Yeah.
now going out for a $5 coffee at La Madeline is like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's not worth, but I used to go to La Madeline and sit with all the people going around, then I'd get all
Mhm.
my energy back up, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not doing that now. But it occurred to me that I needed to get my butt out of the house and do something. So
Yeah.
I've been looking for things to do. So I'm scheduling some coffees with with one of my groups
Yeah.
to get out and get coffee. But what do you do? Well, of course, you've got Leo at home, but
Yeah, I
you need.
do. I mean, but does he ever want to get out of the house? No, never. He never wants to get out of the house. So
But what
I have
about you?
to,
Don't you?
what's that?
I said, but don't you? Do you get out during the day? Do you get yourself
Yeah,
out?
the thing is if I allowed myself to do it or even didn't even think about it, I would be home all the time. I would never leave the house. I have groceries, in my fridge. I would just, eat. The only time I would actually go outside is to take the dog outside. And that was so true because when I first started working from home, I would never leave the house. Like, and one time I was like, it's been 2 weeks since I left the house because if like at the time obviously my ex-husband now, but like if he took the kiddo to school, like then I never needed to leave the house. And it's really bad, and I can do that. I can get into that really bad habit of like when's the last time I left the house. So I don't want to say force myself, but I make sure that I kind of break things up so I don't chunk it where like I'm going to put in Kroger's and Costco, in the same trip or something like that. I'll do Costco one day, Kroger's the next because, hey, I got out 2 days in a row. And then, I might do, things where I, make sure I do get out. Like I'll schedule time with friends and I'll try not to do, like I said, two things in one day because then probably for the rest of the week, I won't even get out. So I do try to make sure I block my time that I have, some purposeful time at my computer, working on my stuff, doing my content, working on client work, all of that kind of stuff. And then purposeful time that I'm like, okay, this afternoon I'm getting out. And sometimes I do. I get itchy feet where I'm just like, I got to go. I got to get out of here. I got to go do something and get some different energy because this energy is getting stale.
Yeah, going down. I hear you on that. I sometimes don't realize until like some part of a project will be completed and
Yeah.
there's quote unquote nothing to do. And
Yeah.
when there's nothing to do, I know that's a mindset. It's
Oh
like,
yeah.
uh-oh. And so that can send me in kind of it's not a depression, but
Yeah.
it's kind of a, and I don't even want to do something creative. It's like, okay, that's when I realize I need to do I need to do field trips, go to
Yeah.
Kroger's, go to Kohl's, look around, go to Walmart, go to HEB, go to
Yep.
Sam's. You notice there's a trend there with food, but
Yeah.
I love to cook. And for me, going to Sam's and Kroger's
Yeah.
and HEB, oh, and HEB in particular, oh my God, I love it. It's such, there's people there, there's
Mhm.
things to look at,
Energy.
there's
Yeah.
energy, there's
Yeah.
color, and
Yeah.
just being around that kind of energy that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yep.
You know, it speaks to the things I love to do, which again,
Yeah.
cook.
Breakups suck. Whether you ended it or got blindsided, you're left picking up the pieces and wondering, now what? That's where your post breakup plan comes in, a self guided coaching program designed to help you stop spiraling, start healing, and actually move forward. No toxic positivity, no just get over it. Just real tools, real support, and a plan that puts you back in the driver's seat. Head on over to SamanthaElizabeth.com and click on the link for your post breakup plan.
So I saw something really funny because, of course, well, I'm older than you are, but it's like when you get older, that's when going out to Kroger's counts as going out. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
it
know
kind
what?
of
I
does.
I heard something the other I don't even remember where I heard it, but it was like, hey, Aaron dates or Aaron, like with friends, I'm not saying like, with some, significant other or something like that, but like errand time. So like, if you have a lot of errands to do, you need to like hit UPS and like, go to the grocery store and go, places, inviting a friend along, just for it to be enjoyable that you're not alone and you're actually spending time with somebody because you have to do those things like that.
Yeah, but how do you do that during the week? You and I
Yeah.
have free time, quote
Yeah.
unquote, free time. We make our
Right.
time.
Yeah.
But I don't have that many friends, at least close by,
Yeah.
who on the spur of the moment, I can pick up the phone or send a chat or whatever and say,
Mhm.
"Hey, you want to go to Kroger's? You want to blah blah blah?" It's like I have to make appointments with people,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and that's kind of the downside. There's a lot of upsides to being single when you're older, I gotta say,
Mhm.
and living by
Mhm.
myself. I enjoy that a lot, but I also loved being in relationship. I mean, I loved
Yeah.
being married when I was. It was
Yeah.
great. And the
Yeah.
nice thing about that I miss are the nothing burger times. It's
Mhm.
like saying, you want to go get some coffee? And off we would
Yeah.
go. And we'd say, well, let's go to some place we haven't been before. But it
Yeah.
wasn't like you had to make a plan in advance. You could
Yeah.
just say, you want to do this?
Mhm.
Or it could even be just something in the house. It's like, will you help me do blah, blah, blah? And we'd be off on a project.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things, I don't need constant companionship, believe me. And
Mhm.
so I was married to the perfect person in that regard because he didn't want it or need it either. We needed our time apart, but we love being
Yeah.
together. It's
Yeah.
just that we didn't have to be together and doing things all the time. Just being in the house together was good. That was
Mhm.
fine. So those are kind of things that make life a little bit more difficult for spontaneity. A
Mhm.
lot of my friends like that I do meet for lunch, they live way out in the West Chase area, and I live,
Oh,
well, essentially in the Bel Air, Meyerland area.
yeah.
So we definitely have to make a plan, and then we have to plan where we're going to go, and it's going to take
Mhm.
time to get there, and then we
Oh,
spend
yeah.
like 2 hours. So those are, those things I plan into my week. Like on Fridays, I consider kind of my day off.
Mhm.
Saturdays I have things to do too, but on Fridays I try to meet for lunch with people, and
Mhm.
that's working out pretty well.
Oh, that's
But
good.
anyway, it's the little spontaneous things that you were talking about, like having a friend meet. It's like I don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
anybody I could do
No,
that
I
with.
mean, I gotta schedule it, like, because the thing is that I also schedule my time too. Like, I might say, "Hey, Wednesday, I gotta go to Costco," you know.
Yeah,
Um, joke between a friend and I that Costco is my favorite place because we were hanging out, and I don't know how many times I mentioned Costco, but like probably like 15
I know
times in
what you
like a
mean.
3-hour period because I was like, "Oh, I got that at Costco," and like, "Oh, it's gonna stop." I was like, "Now it's a joke." It's my favorite place to go. But But
We all have our places, Sam. We
we
all have
all
our
have our pay.
places.
Apparently Costco is mine, but it is a joy to go to Costco. Not that I'm like advertising Costco or anything, but Costco, if you want to sponsor. No, but it's one of those things that, um, you have to schedule it the same thing, of like, hey, Wednesday, at this time, or even scheduling it around the other person if they want to do that with you as well too. Even if they're not buying anything from wherever you're going, or what do they need to do that? It's about what the thing was about was actually finding people that also need to do errands, and you guys do it together. Or, it's the same other thing too. You got to clean your house, and maybe you hate cleaning your house, because I hate cleaning my house. And you find another friend or something like that, and you clean each other's houses, not separately, but like where they'll come over and help you clean, and then you go over and help them clean. It's not always that, like, every single time you see a friend that it has to be something terribly enjoyable. Like, you can share in some misery and pain, too, about things, especially if you hate
I've
going.
never thought of having someone come and help me clean my house.
Yeah, people do it. Like, I hear that, I hear this great white, like, thing, but like this whole, I hear about all of these like moms groups. I'm not part of any of them, that get together and they all like go over to each other's houses and clean each other's houses, and they take turns. Or there's dads groups, that go over and, everybody tackles somebody's lawn, that day or something like that. And then the next day, like, so it's all of that exchange and everything like that. Although I hear sometimes that some people are like, well, I'm not going to show up this day. We're like, well, Susan, we're not going to come over and clean your house then, like, if you're not going to show up for cleaning our houses, then we're not going to. So it's got to be like an equal thing. But, it's kind of like, it's a little bit like everybody doing something together, especially if you don't enjoy doing it, where somebody else is like really good at organizing, but nobody else is, good at it, just bringing everybody's skills over and kind of making it a team thing. Cause it doesn't always have to be, doesn't always have to be terrible, to do those things together.
I'm
But
going to have to give that some serious consideration. I don't know what it would be. If I
yeah,
invite people over, I usually want to feed them. It's like, come on over, I'm cooking.
yeah,
So, but fortunately, happily, the people who come over do the dishes. It's like,
yeah.
I haven't asked, it's like suddenly people are clearing the table and sticking things in the
Uh-huh.
dishwasher. Like, okay.
Yeah.
So it makes it kind of fun. And they are kind of cleaning my house.
Well, I mean, like, you go over, to somebody's house and everything. Of course, you don't want to sit there and like make a mess and say good luck, with that, and like walk off. I mean, at least a
Oh,
good guest.
no, people do it. No, no.
Um,
Yeah, no, and I understand that. That's okay. Sometimes I have parties and like,
yeah,
no, I don't need that to
yeah,
happen.
yeah,
That doesn't need to happen. But sometimes when it's just kind of more of an informal sort of situation,
yeah.
some people will just, they may take their stuff in the
Sure,
kitchen or whatever, but these people are like rinsing the plates and putting them, like, okay.
there you go. That's
That's really,
awesome.
that's the only thing I can think of that people do in my house that I don't like to do
Yeah.
particularly.
Well, this is a wake up call for anybody that goes over as a guest to somebody's house. Just clean
Yeah,
up, like
yeah,
do.
offer.
I worked for this company once, and I love one of the values that we built into the culture of the company. And that was always leave a place better than you found it. And that means for anything, so if you go into the break room and you see sugar packets, all over the counters or something like that, don't ever say that's not my job. Just leave a place better than you found it. Even if you just pick up one sugar packet, the next person picks up the next, that sort of thing. And that was like, what was it all about? Is just like, if you leave a conference room, clean up the conference room before you leave. Because the thing is that like, you're just spreading the joy over and over again, that somebody doesn't walk into a dirty conference room because you just left it, in ruins. So I loved that principle. And for me, I love that principle, being able to walk. I mean, this is kind of a silly thing, but when I walk down the aisles at the grocery store and I see something out of place, I might grab it and go put it in the right aisle. Or I might like, help them kind of like restock, meaning like, pull things up to the front or something like that. If I take something, I'm going to pull the next thing up, to the front, so that way it looks nice. Like, and I know somebody told me one time, well, you're taking away their job, that's their job and everything like that. But I'm like, I'm sure that they have other things to do than pull a product to the front or something. I'm
Yeah,
sure
and
that
you're not
they're
doing it for them. You're doing it for other customers like you. It's just
exactly
think of it like a, what do they call it? A random act of kindness.
right. Yeah, I love
Which
that.
I think is a wonderful idea. And I'm
Yep.
kind of like you. I like to pick. I don't know if I like it. Picking things up. That
Yeah.
somebody's I don't know, things on the floor at grocery stores are.
Yep.
Now I tell you what though, when I do go to the Dollar General, sometimes it's like overwhelming. It's like, no, I'm not gonna I'm not
Right.
gonna
I'm not going to
tackle
straighten
this
up
mess.
this place for you. It's like when I worked at Ross, I mean, people would come and just like, go through the things and there'd be clothes all over the ground and hangers everywhere and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
That was frustrating. When I'm at Ross and I see something that's not hung right or something like that, I just kind of take a little few seconds, because I know what it was like working there. It's
yeah.
super
And the
frustrating.
salespeople that have to do that are really grateful. I know I worked at Kohl's,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't necessarily that people would have to put it up, but if they simply brought it into the fitting room and just stuck it in the
Yep.
basket or whatever, I would take care.
Yeah.
We would take it out. Me in
Yeah.
particular.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah, that kind of stuff makes a big difference in grocery stores. It's it's not the people necessarily who work in the grocery store. It's the people who stock the shelves. It's the guys from Campbell's Soup and from
Right.
Pepsi, and those are the people that are responsible for stocking the shelves and pulling things forward and doing all that. But they're only there once a day. They may be
Yeah.
there in the middle of the day because they're moving from store to store. So when
Hmm.
you do stuff like that, other than in the dairy case where the people are there all the time,
Yeah.
you're really doing it for other people, and it's real. I think it's really nice to do. I do that too occasionally.
Yeah, I agree. And I like how you put that too, because I do think about the workers, but I didn't think about, well, I do think about other customers too, especially if I take something and it's the only thing in the front, but I see things, like I see the same product all the way in the back, I do pull those forward because wouldn't it be disappointing? Like if you walk up to a shelf and you see that it looks like it's gone, but then it's all the way in the back. And what if you're short and you can't reach it or something? Like I think about that and I just want to pull it forward to the person because on top of that, I do want them to be delighted too that they walk up and their product is there, the product that they want. I don't know. I
No,
think
no,
in
I
a
think.
customer service kind of way though too.
Well, but
So
you're onto something. This has got to do with you talked about energy earlier. To
yeah,
me, this is an energy thing. It's like we all have energy. Some people's energy is like here, and they don't
yeah,
do anything for anybody. It's like,
yeah,
well, if you're not doing something for me, I'm not doing something for you. It's very
right,
transactional. And
yep,
other people, it's not only not transactional, it's like, well, you can do for me, but I'm not doing for anybody else. It's like I
right,
deserve it or I'm entitled. But
right,
then there's was it the givers, the takers, and the users or something like that.
yeah,
But anyway, the giving people have a lot of energy.
yeah,
And it kind of flows out of their thinking,
hmm,
just like you're doing. You pull the things forward. It's so small. And yet it's so sort of a subconsciously delightful for
yeah.
people coming, that are next and that come up. It's like, oh yeah, everything. They take it for granted until you go in a place again. I'm going to say Dollar General. I don't know if it's Dollar General. It's the one that's
Is
close
that
to
your
me,
favorite
whatever it's
place?
called, the
Okay.
dollar store. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
One of those stores. And you
Yeah.
go in and it's just, everything is just hodgepodge. And
Hmm.
you feel it's like, oh God, I don't know. And you don't want to stay there. You
Hmm.
don't want to necessarily poke through everything unless you must.
Yeah.
I know people who must go through that stuff. It's like that's what's affordable and that's what they have to do. And for
Yeah.
those people, I think it's, I was going to say disrespectful. It feels disrespectful
Right.
to have shelves that are just a mess and everything thrown on the floor. And
Oh, yeah.
so, I'll do little things. I may straighten up a little shelf because me,
Sure.
it's like, I got to straighten things up.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
tell you a
No,
funny story. So, in my pantry,
uh-huh.
and since like you go to Costco, I go to Sam's. I
Uh-huh.
always buy in bulk because when I want to cook, I want everything ready in there. So I've got stuff in
Sure.
my pantry.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I unload like 12 jars of or cans of something, I put on the shelf, and all the things are facing forward.
Hmm.
And my sister tended to think that I was OCD about this, just
Oh,
because I do it well. But this is a story.
sure.
So she said, she was visiting. She doesn't live here. She was visiting me, and we were just laughing about stuff. And she said, I know how to drive you crazy. And I said, you do? I'm pretty not driven crazyable.
Yeah.
So she said, let me show you. So we go in the pantry, Of course, everything is all, neatly facing forward on these
Mhm.
shelves. And she
Mhm.
goes up to a can and she goes, flips the can
Wait, hold
around.
on, you can't read the label.
Well, there were other things in there. And it was really funny. She said, I bet you can't stand that. You're going to go back and put it straight pretty fast, aren't you? And I said, well, actually, I'm not. It doesn't drive me crazy that you
Yeah.
did that.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to have everything facing forward.
Uh-huh.
And visually, it's a delight.
Yeah.
And it's a delight when you go in stores. If all the cans of vegetables and fruits and
Right.
jars of pickles and everything were all turned cattywampus in the store, where
Yeah.
none of them, a few of them face forward and some of them are backwards, which a few are, we know.
Yeah.
But if the whole store didn't care, if the people who stocked it didn't care which way they put those things on the shelves, other than they were
Mhm.
in straight lines,
Mhm.
you wouldn't like it. It's that you take it so for granted. You just don't notice it until it's wrong,
Yeah.
until everything is just a mess. And those
Right.
are not the stores you want to be in unless you have to be. Or maybe you like
Yeah.
jumble stores, I don't know. But I don't. So my pantry is nice and neat and organized. And you don't have to be OCD for that. It's like I would prefer
No.
that she hadn't done that, but it wasn't like going to drive me crazy till I fixed it. I don't care.
I'm not OCD either. It just it feel well, I shouldn't say it feels better. It helped. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a decluttering, thing that I did. I didn't take any pictures for our group because I'm terrible at that. But I have a cabinet above my toilet in the toilet room. It's got its own room. It's a fancy toilet, but I have that cabinet and I order things off of Amazon. I got things on subscription that I normally use. I normally use face powder. I normally use hair dye. I normally use like all of those kind of things on order. And I've got them on a regular thing. Well, sometimes, I have a little bit left of the product. And so that one goes into that particular thing. Well, I noticed one time I got something new in, let's just say a face powder, and I went to go throw it into that cabinet, which I just throw it into the cabinet. I don't like put it in there like next to the other one or whatever. And I realized, oh, I have another one. So now I've got two in reserve and one that I'm still working on. And I'm like, well, shoot, I should go ahead and skip that on the subscription. And I was like, okay, well, let me do this. I'm going to pull everything out of that cabinet and I'm going to take inventory of everything that I have. And then that way I know what I can continue to skip on my subscription on Amazon. So then I realized I had like, I don't have eyebrows, 3 eyebrow pencils. I had, hair dye is always on good rotation. So like that's never a problem. I've got the cadence down on that one pretty good. But then I've got, like 4 powders, for my face. I was like, oh my gosh. So I went ahead and organized everything, and it's still organized after a couple of months. I'm very proud of myself, but everything is organized. But it looks like I have a little store there now because now I've got like 4 face powders still. I've got, all of these, things on reserve. I know what to skip now because now I can go to my Amazon when it says, hey, review your subscription. And I look and I go, nope, I already have that. I can go ahead and skip it. So not wasting money and keeping a stock of everything. So
Absolutely. I give you gold stars on that one because
thank you.
yes, I mean, one of the things that we don't do often enough, and I started doing it to realize how valuable it was because
Yeah.
I'm also thinking about downsizing, not just decluttering.
Mhm.
You would think I have no clutter. People say, oh, you're so decluttered. And I am decluttered mostly,
Yeah.
but it's astounding how much extra stuff you have.
Yeah.
And so having a place where it's your reserve, your little
Mhm.
inventory stack is
Yeah.
perfect.
Right?
Did you label your shelves or did you label the
I
whatever?
don't need to. There's only 3 shelves in there, and I can keep everything kind of front and center, so I know
So
it's there, or at least, like, the taller things go in the back and everything, so I can still see those things, so I can see,
yeah,
like, oh, I have shampoos, because I use a hair dyeing shampoo type of thing, and so I get that's a special shampoo, so I can see I have plenty of shampoos,
right.
and I'm not gonna run out or anything. And then I know, kind of like what I'm running out of, like soap, for instance. Gotta go to Costco, my
Exactly.
favorite place, and get some more soap, but that sort of thing. So
Yeah, and
it's been
you've
good.
made a good rule that when Amazon says something's coming up, you go and check. So
Yep.
in my pantry, of course, which is rather large, is a walk-in pantry for
Mhm.
obviously people don't know. My canned goods are sorted on the shelves by color.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes from the color spectrum, it goes from red down to was it yellow and orange and green? Anyway, it moves through a color spectrum so that
Mm-hmm.
everything of one color stays together.
Yeah.
And I know from when I go grocery shopping, if I think to look, I can look in there and see immediately that I need tomato sauce because there's
Oh,
low stock there. So it's really
wow.
it's a case for sure. Or
Yeah.
if there's no
Yeah.
yellow there, I might need corn or I need
Yeah.
something that I get there. And so that has been really helpful. But I
Oh,
have
I like
had to
that.
make a rule because I was at Sam's where I
Mm-hmm.
shop for that stuff, and I went and I thought, I think don't I need I'll make this up, Wolf Brand chili, which is
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of pricey, if you don't need it.
Yeah.
So I went and I got that, and I got something else, and when I got home, I already had that stuff. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
I have enough room I have an inventory in my garage too for like dry items and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
nevertheless, it's like, I shouldn't have bought that. That's just leaking money. I will use it eventually. It's true.
Right.
But, I don't need all this going out this month.
Yeah.
It's not that I can't afford it. It's like, it's
Mhm.
a ridiculous thing to do.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I've decided that if it's not, I put it on my, I haven't, I guess you do too, a grocery app
Mhm,
on my phone.
mhm.
If it's not on that app, I can't buy it. It's the rule. It's like I made the
Okay.
rule, I'll stick to it. And so only once did I come home and realize that something should have been on there. It's like, okay, you should have known, put it
Yeah.
on the list.
Yeah.
So, there you go. That type of thing.
Yeah.
Rules and
Yeah.
labels too for other people. I
Mhm,
I tend to be a little, or have been, not now, but
mhm,
maybe now too, is that knowing where something is supposed to go home in its
mhm.
place on a shelf somewhere, bathrooms are particularly bad for this, is you just put it on a shelf. Okay, it goes in
Mhm.
a shelf, it goes in a drawer, it goes here, it goes
Sure.
there. And
Yeah.
so generally you might know where it goes
Yeah.
or not. And then all of a sudden you open up the drawers and you got stuff all over the place. And you have
Yeah.
spent 10 minutes looking to see if you've got what you're looking for
Uh-huh.
and so on. So my rule on organizing is label it. Label the shelf, label the box,
Mm. Mhm.
label whatever.
Yeah.
And this is only me saying this, and other people, I'm sure, it's like I cannot disobey the rule of if it has a label on it. If it says, for your case, face
Yeah.
powder, I cannot
Right.
put a shampoo there. I
Right.
just can't do it. I can't put a
Yeah.
hair powder there. If it's face powder, it's got to be face powder.
Right.
And for some reason, that works with my brain. It's like, okay, that's where it goes. So
Mhm.
that when I walk around, it's like you don't put it down, you put it away.
Yeah.
And
I like
but
that
if you
rule.
don't know where a way is, or if a way only has
Mhm.
kind of a general spot, you're going to forget
Mhm.
you have it,
Yep.
or you're going to spend a lot of time looking for it.
Mhm.
Point to myself.
Yeah.
My latest project about don't put it down, put it away is my phone. I spend so much time in this house looking for my phone.
Yeah.
So I'll put it down and it's dark. And
Mhm.
if I put it someplace that's got a dark, like, my cutting board, wherever I put it, if it's not
Yeah.
bright,
Yeah.
it disappears.
Yeah.
I can tell you how many times on my watch I have to find my device,
Oh,
maybe
no. I do
away.
the same thing too. I put it down
It's
everywhere. Like, I take the dog outside, I leave it outside. I'll,
exactly.
do
Well,
something,
so I
get in
have
the shower, I
designated
put it
places
somewhere.
in every room where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
And I didn't label them. Maybe I
Ah,
should label
yeah.
them. But I know now where they are. And
Sure.
when that phone, I'll walk around, I'll make one round. And if the phone is not in its place, I get a scolding. It's like,
Ah, there you
you know,
go.
this is, and so I'll go, when I finally find my phone, wherever it is,
Uh-huh.
this is crazy, but it works for me. I'll go, you are not supposed to be there. And you know it. Talking to me in the phone. And I will go in that room and I will put it in its place. It's like, you're supposed to be here. So it just
Yeah.
reinforces. I know it's crazy.
No, it's
I will
not,
admit,
but, it
I'm
made me feel
admitting to be
bad
one
for
of
the
your,
phone all of a sudden when you were scolding it.
I know,
It's like that poor
I'm
phone. It
scolding
was
the phone. You
you.
are not supposed to be here. But you know what? I've been doing this now for maybe a week, maybe
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to put things where they belong. That phone is going. So in the kitchen on my freezer is white.
Mhm.
upright freezer is white, and I see it immediately when it's there. So it can go
Mhm.
there. It can go on another place where if I'm reading a recipe, it goes there on this
Mhm.
little doodad.
Mhm.
That's where it goes. But if I put it on the counter, which is dark green,
Mhm.
it disappears. I
Yeah.
can put it down and 5 seconds later I can't find it.
Yeah.
Where did I put it? I'm not paying attention is what it is.
Mhm.
It's like what's
Mhm.
going on. But this has really been helpful for me to scold
No,
the
that
phone
sounds super helpful because, yeah, you're right. I lose my phone all the time. I have to
all
use
the
my
time.
watch to be able to find my phone. And, sometimes I'll hear it and I'm like, is it upstairs or downstairs? So I'll run upstairs. I'm like, nope, it was downstairs. And I'll go back downstairs. I'm like, where did I put it? Oh gosh, it's in the pantry. Why did it get into the pantry? I don't know because I was grabbing something from the pantry and I set it down.
I'm thinking it would be so good if Siri would say warmer, colder.
Right. I mean, you can, because
Warmer.
sometimes you can hear it, or sometimes it's out in my car. I don't know why I left it out in my car, but obviously I can't hear it if I go ding, ding, ding to it, And so I'm running around going, why can't I hear it? Like,
I
I,
do not know why I took it outside this morning when I was gardening, doing some gardening.
mhm.
I went in the garden room and I put it on the little sink counter there.
Yeah.
And then I went about doing all the things I went about doing. And then I closed the garage door. I closed it. I'm inside. And somehow or other, I kind of remembered that it was out there. I looked in
Mhm.
all the rooms and I went, where was I? So
Yeah.
I did find it pretty quickly out there, but I didn't have a place for it, except I'm
Yeah.
making that the place if it's on there. But it was so funny. It's like, okay, I looked in all the spaces and I didn't have to use my watch for a change.
Yeah.
But, it's like, why did I even bring it out there? I
Yeah.
turned it off so I wouldn't be bugged while it's like focus. The
Yeah.
minute I start doing something else or thinking of, look at my phone, it's like I never get anything done.
Yeah.
I get this
Yeah.
done, get that done. I get everything half done. Let's put it that way. Everything gets
Sure.
halfway done,
Yeah.
which is not fun.
I get that. I totally get that. All right. Well, this podcast is not halfway done. It's done. No, I'm just joking.
It is done. I'm sure it is. We've been
No,
talking for a long time.
I'm joking with you. I'm being funny. Like that's my kind of humor. But um, it was so great having you on the podcast, Julie. Really, I'm sorry. I'm laughing at
Well, this
myself.
is
That's
really
how I.
fun.
That's what I do. But
Thank
it
you.
was
We're
no,
both
it was
we're
really
both not
great.
a mess, and we're not both not stressed too much, which is really
Sure.
good. We just need to
Yeah.
better to find our phone more.
Right, exactly. But thank goodness for the Apple Watch. I love my Apple Watch. I
I
don't know what
know.
I would do without it because it wakes me up in the morning. Oh, of course, that snooze factor that I've got going on with it, but it also finds my phone for me. And yeah, it like tells me when texts come in and all that kind of stuff. I love it. Oh, and now of
Exactly.
course, the main thing is supposed to be used for. I use it to work out. So like,
It's a good thing. Yeah, I get my little
multiple
kudos too. It's like you completed your, which it should be a
end
whole lot more
goal. I'm
to
like,
do, but yeah, you
I
can
did.
completed a circle.
Yeah, exactly. Love it.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
I hope you restart your habit for getting up at 6 o'clock, just because it's going to support you through the day and get you whatever if you want to. But either that
I'll
or
get
just
back there.
take it off your habit thing. Just say, okay,
Yep.
this isn't working for me, and find
Yep.
something else that works better.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much
Yeah.
for that encouragement. All right.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
See you soon.
All right.
Bye.
All right.